Do you know the saying, show me your company and I'll tell you who you are? Or what about you're the average of the 5 closest people you hang around? I believe that both of those sayings apply to wealth building, right? Wealth breeds wealth. If you hang around or your environment is made up of people who are interested in building wealth or who are interested in just leveling up in their life in all aspects of their life, and that is the average or that makes up the majority of who you hang around, by osmosis, you are going to start wanting to do the exact same thing. And that is why your environment is one of the most important factors when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to keeping wealth, and when it comes to making your money work for you. And so that's what we're going to be talking about, because you have to be very cognizant of what your environment is. And I'm not just talking about your physical environment. Like, yes, that matters, but I'm also talking about your social environment, your mental environment, and many other different kinds of environments. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Number one, I want you to take note or do a task or create a list of the 5 closest people who you hang around, right? Like, so who are these people you hang around and what are their interests? What do you guys do when you guys go out? Or what are you guys talking about? Or what is their main thing, right? And just be honest with yourself when you're doing this assessment. Are they actively thinking, hey, this is how I'm going to make a difference in my life today, or this is how I'm working to improve myself, or this is how I'm trying to become more self-aware, or this is how I'm trying to build wealth, or whatever it may be, right? Is something that they are doing that you are aware of, is it in some way something that is beneficial to them or who they want to be in the future, right? And if you have people in your life who you are close with and hanging out with regularly, that is what you kind of want to be around on a regular basis, because then you yourself too, you're also going to want to start doing those things if you aren't already. And if you are doing those things, then it's going to encourage you to continue to do those things, especially when you're talking about building wealth, right? Because if you're with people who they don't care about building wealth, or they're spending every single penny they get, you're going to start to feel left out because you don't want to spend every single penny you get, or you'd rather invest in the stock market, or you'd rather do things that are going to benefit you in your future. Now, I'm not saying you're a boring person who never wants to do anything or have any fun, right? But you're very intentional with your spending. Like, trust me, I spend a lot of money. I go shopping a lot. I go out to eat a lot. I do a lot of that stuff, but also I'm investing the same amount, if not more, that I am spending. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Making sure that you've got that balance, and the people who you hang around also have that balance or are encouraging you to have that balance, right? And if you don't have those people around you, then you need to go out and find them. On the same note, I want you to think about your social environment. So your environment online, because this is a social media day and age. Everyone is on social media. You're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever it may be. Who are you following, right? Who are you following? And the people you follow, are you learning from them, or can you learn from them? And if you're following people like for fun, are they making you feel positive things, or are they making you feel negative things, right? Because if they're making you feel negative things, then you need to unfollow them. If they're only posting things like sad, boo hoo hoo, cry cry, this is so depressing, you should probably unfollow. This is why I don't follow the news, right? If I want to learn something or read up on something in the news, I will intentionally go look for it. I don't want to follow the news or watch the news and constantly have that coming in, because yeah, sometimes it's depressing, sometimes it's sad. If I want to learn about something, I'm intentional about going to go find it. But on an everyday basis, my social media consumption or absorption, I want it to be people I can learn from. I want it to be people who can teach me about money, teach me about wealth, teach me about business, teach me about career, teach me about self-improvement. And that's how I'm curating my feed. And so you really want to make sure your social environment is really curated so that the social media consumption, it's beneficial to you. Because even if you don't consciously feel a difference, or if you don't consciously think it's affecting you, subconsciously, it is affecting you. And so you really want to be aware of that. The other kinds of people I like to follow is people who like aspirational, right? Like they're living lives that I want to live, or they're doing things that I want to do because it's aspirational for me. I love seeing it on social media. Now, for some of you guys, you also want to do that because it's going to push you to work harder, right? It's going to push you to strive towards those goals, to keep going. But for others of you, maybe you're not in a position where you can see that and be inspired. and maybe like seeing that someone who you perceive to be like way far ahead, it's a little like, saddening. And so it's making you jealous. And so in that case, you don't want to follow those people. And while I'm on this note, let me also just say that comparison is the thief of joy. So you are not following these people or curating your feed in a way that's going to make you jealous or that's going to make you feel some type of way, right? Because you can't compare your journey to someone else's journey. You don't know what that person had to go through. You don't know what they had to do to get there. And you also don't know what's in line for you. And maybe you haven't taken the necessary steps yet to get to where you're meant to be. And if where you're meant to be is where they are, then you will get there in due timing, right? So I just had to throw that in there and put that there as a little aside. But so to recap, so number one was your physical environment. Who are you hanging around? The people you're hanging around. Number two is your social media environment. Who are you following? How are those people teaching you? And if you're following the news or you want to be kept apprised of the news, consider going out and looking for what you want to see, when you want to see it, or following different news sources that isn't all depressing all the time, because that's a lot to be taken in on a daily basis. And then follow people who are aspirational or inspirational, who can help motivate you to your goals. And then do away with following people that's going to make you feel negative feelings or jealous or anything along those lines. Next, we're going to talk about your physical location, because I have seen and heard this a lot, especially from some of you guys on Instagram. It's like, oh, but there's nothing in my city, right? Because I'll tell you guys, go to conferences, go to events, go to networking places, and you'll be like, Sephora, there's nothing here, right? Or I'll tell you, like, go out and meet people, or go find groups to join and do these different things, and you're like, there's nothing here. And this is where your physical environment comes in. If you think or perceive there to be nothing for you in your city or state, then baby, it is time to move. Okay, it is time to move. Start applying to jobs in other cities, in other states, where you can actually see yourself living the life you are meant to live, right? You cannot become who you're trying to become if your physical environment is holding you back. If the opportunities in the environment you're in aren't there, how are you going to take advantage of non-existent opportunities, right? So putting yourself in a physical environment where you can actually take advantage of these opportunities. And if you aren't fully ready to move, then you have to become comfortable with paying for flights, to fly to conferences, to fly to events, to go to different things, right? So either or, it's either like start packing up and getting ready and applying to other jobs so that you can move, or be comfortable with getting on frequent flights, or just solely focusing on online communities. The second part of this physical environment is your home space, right? Where you live. So I love high-rise luxury apartment buildings, and they are very well populated in DC. So I absolutely love them. That is my number one option, because just everything is literally at your fingertips. I'm talking meal delivery, grocery delivery, pool, a gym, grills, dry cleaning, mailbox, packages, security, literally everything is at your fingertips, and I just love that. You guys know I'm also going to be doing like house hacking and investment in properties, and so that is to come as well. But my physical environment is really just like my oasis. Like, I want to come home and feel at peace. I don't want to leave work or leave wherever I'm coming from and come home and be like, oh gosh, like, wow, this is so stressful. I can't even relax in my own home. So making sure that your home space feels like a place where you can really relax and be yourself, and is a space also that inspires you and makes you happy to be there. So that's that second piece of your physical environment. Next, we have something I've already briefly mentioned, which is attending conferences and events, right? And here, when I'm talking about conferences and events, it's not difficult to do, right? It's a simple Google search: money or wealth building conferences in my area, investing conferences in my area, blank conferences in my area. And in addition to that, you can look at conferences 2 or 3 hours away, right? Conferences you would be okay driving to, because what this does is it expands your environment beyond what you already know. So not only meeting new people at these conferences and events, but learning new things, learning about new opportunities, just placing yourself into spaces where people who want to do the same thing as you are also in those spaces, right? Like, I mean, just think about millionaires and billionaires. Who are they hanging out with? They're hanging out with other millionaires, other billionaires, right? Think about it that way. You socialize within your group. You socialize with people who are interested in the same things. You socialize with people who are on the same level, and you have to put yourself in that environment. And the biggest one of the easiest ways is conferences and events. I was actually just looking at an event that I want to attend. It was Forbes. There was a Forbes event that I want to attend, and the speaker, Alexis Ohanian, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian, I hope. He's the speaker. He's the keynote at that event, and I'm going to be attending that event, or I hope I will be. I plan to, right? But that's what I mean, right? Attending these events and putting yourself in the space to be there, right? You can't get opportunities if you're not even in the room. And some of these things that's so easy to get in the room, just buy a ticket. Just buy a ticket, okay? Just buy a ticket and go do it. The next thing is your mental environment, and this is your head space, right? And so this involves your mental, right? This involves your subconscious. This involves overcoming mental blocks. All of that. If you have, for some reason, doubts, if you're feeling like an imposter syndrome, if you're feeling, oh, but I'm not ready, oh, but I can't do this, oh, what if people think a kind of way? Who cares? Let me tell you something. People are going to hate you. People are going to not like you. People are going to have something to say about whatever you do, no matter what you do, and even if you do nothing. So you might as well do something, because those people can stay hating while you're succeeding. Because then when you make it to the top, they will still be in the same place. Because let me tell you something, people who are happy, people who are progressing, people who are moving forward and worried about their own life and doing well in their own life do not have time to go and hate on someone else. They don't have time. You know the people who do hate? Miserable people, broke people, people who aren't happy with their lives, people who are jealous, people who have nothing better to do than to hate on random people on the internet who they don't know. So you do not need to worry about those people. And some of those people may be your friends. Okay? And that is okay. You may lose friends in the process. And in fact, you should probably cut some of them off if they didn't fit that first category of people who you think you need in your life to help you elevate. Maybe they're holding you back. Right? So you have to get to a place where you just need to say, you know what, I don't care. Or acknowledge that, yeah, people are going to think I'm weird, or people are going to be like, oh, wow. And just say, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway, because this is for me and this is for my future. And when you get more comfortable with what your future is looking like and what your future is going to look like, you will care less and less about what other people have to say about the things that you are choosing to do with your life, because they're too busy worried about you instead of worried about themselves. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know down below which one of these things that you are going to start doing, or which one of these things you have done already. And make sure you follow me on my other social media at Sephora Gray Esquire. That is ESQ for short. And I will see you guys on my next one. Thanks so much. Bye.